Well, first off, you need a good quality paintball mask. One that preferably doesn't fog, okay, so that's there to protect your mouth, your ears and your eyes, of course, okay. Now they're rated up to take quite a few feet per second. Our paintball markers shoot at 275 feet per second, so these masks are more than capable to withstand that kind of damage. Alrighty. Second thing you need, of course, would be your paintball marker, okay. It's a standard paintball marker. You've got the trigger, the safety, barrel, okay, and you've also got what's called a paintball loader or a hopper, okay. Now these paintball hoppers, the capacity is 200 paintballs, okay. So these obviously attach to the paintball marker, and so now you can store paintballs in there. What you also need is a propellant. In this case, on this paintball field, we use CO2, okay. So it starts off as liquid CO2 in here, and it expands in the paintball marker, okay, and then when you fire it, it comes out as a gas, okay. So basically, to load this, you need to screw on the CO2 tank, and that's fully loaded, ready to go now. It won't fire because A, my finger's off the trigger, and B, the safety's still on, okay. So the next thing we'd do is we'd open up the lid and we'd load some paintballs. Now this is the paintballs that we use. We use Elixirs. It's a tournament grade paintball. It's a gelatin shell, and it's vegetable oil and some colouring and a thickener inside of it, okay, and it all washes out, so there's no staining. So basically, you just load the paintballs into the marker like so, close the lid, and she's ready to go. On Against All Odds Paintball, we use two different types of paintball markers. We use the Tipper 98 Custom, which is a rugged and reliable marker. It's used along most paintball fields throughout the world. It's used because it's nice and rugged. You can run it over with a truck and you'll probably shoot better. But the second type of paintball marker that we use at Against All Odds Paintball is the Azodum Chaos. This is the speedball type marker. It's lighter, more lighter weight, smaller profile, so you can have a small profile when you're shooting and stuff. So this is nice and lightweight. Kids love to use this kind of one because the Tipper 98 is actually quite heavy. Okay, the correct way to handle a paintball marker is much like you would a real gun, okay, so you're going to treat it with the respect of a real gun. So there's a few things that you'd always point the barrel at the ground, okay, so you only ever point the barrel at somebody when the game's on, they've got their mask on, okay, and they're included in play, and of course they're on the opposing team. Alrighty, so that's the only time you'd point your paintball marker at somebody. All other times you keep it pointed at the ground. So you'd never just rest your finger on the trigger, so you'd rest it on the trigger guard, okay, so you rest it on the trigger guard, and then when you see somebody, it just takes a split second to move your finger back, and then you can start pulling that trigger, okay. There's another rule: never ever look down the paintball barrel, okay. It's a stupid thing to do, alrighty. So you'd shoot yourself in the eye, okay, and then just do all sorts of horrendous damage, okay. So that's why you never ever look down the barrel, okay. Don't stuff the barrel into the dirt, okay, because you just get a blockage, and of course a blockage is just going to cause problems when you're firing your paintball marker. And you have to be familiar with the safety. Here's the safety right there. Okay, the way you operate the safety, okay, what I explain to all my players is left hand side of your paintball marker flat. So you see this little point there, how it's flat there? That's safe. Push it through, fire. See that little red band shows up? Left hand side flat for safe, poking through for fire. Are there any risks to playing paintball? Well, there's no more risk than any other kind of extreme sport, as long as all the safety rules are followed and there are marshals on field to watch, to supervise over all the players, and there'll be no injuries, no real risks there. It's just like I say, as long as you follow by the rules. You get probably more injuries playing rugby. If you go down to the A&E on any Saturday, the hospital's full of rugby wounds, rugby injuries, okay. Against All Odds Paintball, we've never had any injury, okay, so as long as, like I say, the rules are followed, then no risk whatsoever.